Hi guys. I thought I'd do a little drawing session for you guys. It's been a long time since I've done this, but I'm going to talk about the physical impossibilities of a flat Earth, especially with people who advocate the dome. There is a glass sky, but it's within the concave Earth, and it's actually a glass sphere within the Earth. Actually, it's concentric glass spheres. But let me just explain to you why. I mean, especially if you're believing in a biblical model, especially if you're Christian, so-called Christian, and you think that there's a dome over a flat disk Earth. This is the flat disk Earth over here. And if you have like a dome over here, well, especially you're being very hypocritical if you say that, water remains level. Yeah, it remains level within the perpendicular axis of a concave curvature of the Earth. But if it remains level over here, how does it remain level over here? You're at fault for labeling the convexors with the same problem. How does the water remain up here at the top? I mean, you have to understand Scripture. It says that waters were above the firmament. So how does the water stay on top of the dome here? Hmm? It doesn't work, guys. It would all fall down here, wouldn't it? Yeah, it would. Especially have a problem. You also have a problem with realizing that there is 100-kilometer altitude to this glass sky. So if it were this dome, it'd have different measurements in altitude. Okay, we know this by sprites or elves, which top off at 100 kilometers. We also know the bottom of auroras are topping off 100 kilometers. Radio wave propagation, 100 kilometers. Even the Schumann resonance, it's all at 100 kilometers. So that's our division line between Earth and space. So this can't work. Now you'll say, okay, well, what about if it's a flat plane over a flat disk Earth? What if heaven and Earth are just like a series of disks on top of each other? I mean, you quote the verse in Isaiah 40:22, the circle of Earth, right? That same word is also used as circuit of heaven in Job. I think it's 26. Circuit of heaven. Same word. It says the Lord walks in the circuit of heaven. Stands above the circle of the earth. Stands in the circuit of heaven. It's the same word. Then you might say, well, okay, yeah, that might make sense. You got the pillars, right? The Bible says heaven has pillars. So maybe we just put these pillars around the perimeter of this disk on top of a disk. Well, you understand the physics problem there too. If you're only supporting this huge disk, it's got to be what, 40,000 miles across? How is it being supported in the center? If it's only, you don't see these pillars going up to the sky. They're non-existent, are they? Aren't they? So this can't work either. The only logical conclusion is that heaven is spherical, earth is spherical. Heaven resides in the earth. Job 38:33. The ordinances of heaven take dominion thereof in the earth, inside the earth. So if we have this magnetic octahedron in the center, emanating magnetism, pressure, diamagnetism, which is pushing the water down, diamagnetism, repels water. Also, there's an ether push. We understand how water conforms to the concave spherical surface of the earth and also how it conforms to the concave spherical surface of heaven. It fits like a glove, ladies and gentlemen. Water above the water and the glass firmament dividing it perfectly. That's the only way it could work. So you are a hypocrite if you claim to be a Christian, claim to believe in the Bible, and believe in a flat earth and not understanding how heaven works. This is the only way it can work. This is the only way it does work. Especially now you can understand how the flood happened. The water came down, sand came down, and it created this glass barrier. Probably a series of concentric glass barriers. Onion skinning effect. Which creates refraction, which creates the illusion, of why the sun actually kind of remains the same angular diameter, which also creates this pseudo horizon with bending light. So when we look down, when we look across the horizon, the light simply just bends up like that. So we're getting this horizon here. It's always bending up like that. So understand with the concave earth, you have an understanding of a literal dwelling place for heaven. Literal. It's literal. You can understand it using science and physics. It's right in the middle. You understand 40:22 where it says God dwells in a tent. Well, a tent looks very similar to a pyramid, guys. It's right there. Right there. Sides of the north, right? Isaiah 14, Psalm 48. You have the equilibrium points, right? You have the equilibrium points. They're all extended. This all works perfectly, guys. Concave earth is the correct biblical understanding of the universe. Now think about it. A lot of people reason, oh yeah, the Bible mentions or alludes to earth being flat. Well, you got to understand how God had to relay his message to the people at the time who just had no understanding or concept of the physical structure of the universe, of the concave earth. And especially sometimes earth is just meaning land. So, but anyway, this has four corners too. It's octahedron. So you can interpret it that way as well. So this is the only way it really works. Concave earth. You have a literal heaven. So stop being a hypocrite, stop being base and slow in understanding and obtuse if you're a flat earther and you claim to be a Christian, because this does not work. You cannot have water above a dome on a convex surface, and you can't not have it on a flat disk either, because the center part would just cave right in, and you don't see any pillars hanging. So I mean, you can understand this now. You can even say the pillars of heaven are here, at the lower end of the octahedron. But you have to understand things. You have to interpret things. You have to use science, reasoning, common sense, understanding when you're putting it through a filter of scripture. You have to understand that. This is how it works. Okay, bye. Now, I've been looking around at YouTube videos, at flat earth videos for over a year and a half now, and I have never seen one video of anybody explaining me the orbit of the planets. All I can say is that they're holograms or they're fake. If you guys want to have any credibility whatsoever in displaying your version of the universe, you gotta resolve your planets. You can't just say they're fake. It's not gonna work. No. I can even tell you why they seem semi-transparent, translucent when they transit over the sun. Within the glass sky, the concentric layers of glass sky, it creates a cloaking effect. It semi-cloaks the planets. All makes sense perfectly within a concave earth. So until one of you flat earthers show me how your planets work, you're always going to be viewed and deemed as illogical, unscientific, unverifiable, uncredible. You can't work. This is how the planets work.